Okay, thanks everybody for coming. First in the place. I have to make something clear at the beginning, I guess. Yes, I am the CEO of the Virtual Reality Lounge, and yes, I am a founder of this place here, but I'm not a computer expert by any means. You could heavily say I'm a gamer, I'm a heavy user, basically. But first of all, I'm an enthusiast, and this is why we created vrei. We wanted to bring everybody the possibility to try the new virtual reality devices and get comfortable with it. The chance currently that you get a VR experience out there somewhere, which is just making you sick, is pretty high, I guess. Everybody's trying new stuff, and a lot of these guys maybe don't know where to take care of things you should take care of. So I hope to change that, and I really feel a lot of pleasure bringing you all together and joining me. So my talk will basically be a bit more in the consumer-wise. Probably most of you will know the stuff I'm talking about. If not, I'm happy I'm here for a purpose. So let's start off 2016, the year of VR. Really? So why? I mean, virtual reality is nothing basically new. We had it for a long time. You heard 1950 was the starting point, the real starting point. So why are we talking about 2016, the year of VR? I'm very happy to introduce you to two guys who actually ran the first virtual reality cafe in Vienna, 1992. Thank you so much for coming. I was very, very curious to meet you guys, and we will talk to you later about your experiences. And as you said before when I was talking to you, not too much change. We have at least the same advertising in virtual reality. It's for educational business and stuff and so on. And yeah, it's like a revision. It's like a déjà vu, more or less. So what changed? Isn't basically every computer simulated environment virtual reality? Didn't we experience virtual reality in the last decades? I think we did. We were playing games, we saw computer animated movies and stuff, and it is virtual reality. So what is the big thing that changed? I guess the perspective. So now we are able to really dive into virtual reality worlds. We can really experience them like we would be really there. So maybe we should find a new headline for just the meaning of my talk. 2016, the year of virtual reality headsets. We are all going entertainment now. We are all going consumer versions of virtual reality headsets. And maybe that is the only really big change. Maybe that is why all this big hype just came up again. And maybe we have a chance of succeeding this time. I hope so. So what is a virtual reality headset? It's basically like headphones for your eyes. This is, sometimes could be a bit of a problem, because we even have today people who don't like to wear headphones. Of course, because you're somehow not more, you're somehow distracted. At least your audio senses are in another world for that time when you wear a headset. So yeah, the same problem we have with virtual reality headsets. So is it a gaming device? If you're listening to Paul Malachy and all the other founders of Oculus, what they intend to do, what is their main phrase of virtual reality, it's we want to change gaming forever. So I think basically yes, it is. Is it the only purpose? Of course not. I think everybody of you, at least most of you, will have tried an up-to-date virtual reality headset, and everybody of you can imagine there's a lot of more possibilities what to do with it, and a lot of more ways than just to play games. And we have daily customers in here. We let them try all the current virtual reality headsets, and the feedback we get is awesome. Most of the time, if there is a couple coming, the guys are mostly very curious about to try it. So after they tried it, they go to their girlfriends, and they try to get them into as well. So just try it, come on, try it. So after some time, maybe she had 1 or 2 drinks, she's ready for it. So I show her what virtual reality can mean. I probably just send her on a little submarine tour, and she's coming out of the headset like, wow, what was that? And actually she's coming back with 5 more girlfriends the next day. So it's not just a gaming device. It's really compelling in a lot of ways. Telling stories through a virtual reality headset is much more compelling than just watching something on a screen where you're just a spectator, I guess. So now you're right in the middle of the action. So I want to get just a quick overview through the different devices we're just facing now, and it's just the main one, just the big players. I know there's a lot of more content or a lot of more hardware coming, like Razer with the open source and a lot of different headsets, but we're gonna care for the big players just for the first meetup today. So there's the Samsung Gear VR. It's a mobile VR headset. It just came out last year in November. It's so to see the first headset you can actually buy as a consumer. So what do you need to run it? Because the goggles is not the only thing to make it work. So of course you need the headset and you need a mobile phone. In this case, one of the latest Samsung Galaxy phones. It's the S6, the S6 Edge, Edge Plus, Note 4, Note 5. They basically have all the same display and computing power. It's already an octa-core, so it's a very powerful little computer in your pocket. And of course, it makes sense if the display is just the same as they do it in Oculus. Put it on your head, try it out, and it's so. What are the main topics for Samsung? It's mobile in the first place. Being wireless means a lot because all the other headsets is like, okay, you can maybe walk around freely, but always you will always be reminded that you're somehow like a dog on a I don't know what it's called, a liner? Yeah, on a leash. So mobile could be a good thing, of course. And you can take it with you. If we go to some conventions, we just bring the Samsung Gear VR with us. On the other hand, it's affordable. Should be a good thing. We all heard about the rant that the Oculus Rift costs $600 now. So affordable for a starting point should be a real big topic. What is it missing? Positioner tracking, of course. Positioner tracking, in my opinion, makes virtual reality just really compelling, just feel really right if you have the changing of perspective just by moving your head or moving your body into a different direction. Makes a lot. So it's missing that, but is it less powerful? Yes, of course it is. You don't have a 3,000 euro computer on the other end of the line. So yeah, but it's very underrated. We feel this every day. We basically let try every of our guests the Samsung Gear VR, and they really didn't think of how good it can be. And there's a lot of very, very good content out there already. So what is the difference to a cardboard? We all know cardboard was mainly the very first thing we had as a virtual reality device for consumers. It's very easy to see. It's the quality. It's that you have control. With the touchpad, you can control the volume. You have this focus wheel to adjust to your vision. And there is official Oculus content. Of course, you can make every newer smartphone, turn it into a virtual reality device with a cardboard. But official Oculus content means something. At least the scaling is right. You know what to deal with. I guess for content creators as well, it's good that there is an official SDK, how to work it. They know how the lenses work, how big the screen is and stuff. So I guess it has some. It was the starting. So, but now we're actually entering the phase where the Oculus Rift consumer version is available. We can order it. We ordered it already. I hope we get it in April. It was sold out very quickly in the beginning, but it should be here. I'm just, what I want to do is just sharing some experiences. I was lucky enough to try them, at least most all of them already. I went to LA, I've been to Cologne and all to the game conventions just to try virtual reality. So what you get with an Oculus Rift consumer version, of course, you get the headset, you get a tracking device. It's basically an infrared camera. And you get an input device. I'm not sure if this is the best input device, but at least as it is a gaming device, it makes a lot of sense because gamers should be pretty used to a gaming controller like the Xbox One controller, which is coming with. There's, of course, this touch mouse thing like they will pack as well. I didn't have a picture at the moment, so. But this is what you get. So what you need is a powerful PC. a very powerful PC. This is why at the moment it's not really that affordable that a lot of people had hoped. And I think making it a bit cheaper on the hardware from Oculus doesn't make too much sense, because in the end, let's face it, the Oculus is not the big problem in price, the PC is. Yeah? And you want to have a flawless experience, so you need a very beefy PC. For this, because of that, they invented this Oculus Ready program. It's a VR-ready thing, so if you buy a computer in the near future and you are looking for this kind of seal, you can be sure it at least will run the Oculus Store applications pretty fine. I'm not sure about third-party things, but at least we have something where to start. So what is it? It's the first virtual reality headset for PC. That makes it very interesting. You can have it at home. It's there is already a lot of content. You heard about that they sold, I think, 250,000 dev kits, so development sets. So basically, most of the virtual reality content we had the last 2 or 3 years was basically produced on an Oculus Rift, and Oculus was intelligent enough to buy most of the real good experiences out there. So there is a lot of content coming with the Oculus Rift. Is it expensive? Yeah, I guess so. Is it expensive for what you get? I'm not too sure, because buy a mobile phone. Show me any new, very beefy mobile phone which costs less than $600. Show me a monitor that is capable of 100 Hertz, 100 FPS. Show me one with a good enough screen size under $600. I'm not pretty sure. I know there's a lot of ranting about the price because the dev kits were cheaper, but they are cheaper, basically. If you ever experience the difference and if you're not convinced, try it at our place first. But you will see there's a lot of difference and it makes a lot of sense. There's a massive improvement over the DK2. And, sorry, I think you won't be unsatisfied with what you get for $600. It's just getting cheaper anyway, and we have to get the computers ready. You won't have to buy a new one every year. That's what they said, basically, and should make you very happy. If you buy an Oculus now, you maybe can afford the PC for it in 4 years, and you still should be very happy with your Oculus Rift. So the next of the big players, we have to face it, is PlayStation VR. Of course, Sony is into the big game. It's a big difference because it's not on PC, it's a console thing, but still we are in the gaming area. So it's a gaming device. What do you need for a PlayStation VR? Working name was Project Morpheus. Of course you need a PlayStation 4. Most of us have one if you geeky as me, I guess. You need the VR headset. What you also need is the PS camera for tracking. And what you maybe need and should need is a Move controller. There's a newer one after this one as well, but doesn't really matter. Do you need anything else? Yes, you do, because PlayStation VR is not, a PlayStation 4 is not a €3,000 computer, it's a €350 console. So you will need, we just found out, a separate box for power and processing. Makes a lot of sense. I'm pretty sure I tried already a game on the Project Morpheus which wasn't powered by a separate box. I'm not too sure. But I guess some of the Sony experiences, they're already investing in a lot of content, is able to run without it. But all of the third-party things coming out need some more power, so it makes a lot of sense. What is the PlayStation VR? Where are the keynotes for that? They sold 30 million PlayStations. So it's very easy. It's a lot easier to get into virtual reality through a PlayStation if you're not a computer geek, if you're just a gamer. Maybe if you're not a gamer, you even have a PlayStation 4 at home. So the entrance is much more comfortable for most of the people. Don't invest too much money into virtual reality if you don't own a beefy computer already. So it's plug and play. I think that makes a lot of sense because virtual reality is somehow something new. And to be plug and play, if you want to be on the mass market, I think it's helpful. There should be a lot of content as well. You know, Sony has a back end. They have a lot of content creators. And I know they are currently working on over 200 games exclusively for PlayStation VR. That's very promising, I guess. Is it powerful enough? I think we will see. Where's the gap between PC and PlayStation? We have to wait and see what the applications really want from your hardware, what it needs. The price, we actually don't know yet. There was something like an Amazon leak. Don't be too assured it's right, but we heard something about $800. Still not cheap. It's double the price of a PlayStation 4. But combine it all together, you still get a lot more than on a PC. With, let's say, altogether is $1,500. On the PC side, you're just starting with a PC and you don't own an Oculus Rift by that price. So I think it's okay. Let's see how much it costs in real life. So the last one we really have to talk about is, of course, HTC. HTC is providing the Vive, and they just currently at the CES Las Vegas announced their new PRE version. It's actually called the PRE, Vive PRE. They had some magnificent improvements. So what do you get if you order a Vive? Not a real Vive, I guess, but very compelling hardware. So you have very good motion controllers. Should be already fitted there, and you have two very powerful light field cameras. And just with the PRE, they introduced us with a camera on the headset itself. So what is HTC actually doing and trying to do here? They saw that Oculus didn't have the balls, basically, to say Oculus Rift will be a standing experience. They want you to sit, basically. It makes a lot of sense because most of our gaming experience so far is while seated. Not too much players have a Wii board at home and do the Wii balancing and stuff. And yeah, we like to do gaming while sitting. So yeah, it makes sense. But in virtual reality, moving around, seeing your body and actually move there in virtual reality is much more compelling, and you really want to do it. At least have you ever tried a virtual reality headset and not feel like, oh, I want to go there, I want to go there, I want to touch this, I want to do that? So yeah, HTC came up with a solution somehow to do it without getting sued from the law. So what you basically can do with the HTC is they provide you with some sort of security range. It's like inverted AR. It's a reality, augmented virtual reality. So if you come too close to any object, you have the possibility to see it in your virtual world. So you will see blue outlines and blue stuff before you hit the table and before you hit the wall, which could actually be the solution for gamers who are messy and don't want to clean up their room before they play. So yeah, maybe that is the solution. We will have to wait and see. So the Oculus competitor number one on PC, it will be the first one who really are the competitors. And also on the gaming side, there are a hardware manufacturer, which makes a lot of things a lot easier for them than for, let's say Facebook. Facebook is not a hardware provider. So HTC PRE, the Vive PRE just came out, and they want to bring pre-orders in, I think, 2 months already. So they only have 2 months of getting feedback from consumers, or at least developers who are using the new hardware, but they are able to pull it off. They're able to pull it off after just 4 weeks of feedback to bring all the new feedback and the changes to the final product in just 4 weeks. That sounds amazing, but that is how I think mobile hardware manufacturing works. They have to be very smart and very fast because the market is very beefy and changes basically every year. So there are the more free roam possibilities because of their tracking system. The track controller should be included, as we see. I think they will be included because without them it doesn't make too much sense. And the back-end content-wise, they are partnering up with Steam. So Steam, we still talk about gaming, of course. Steam is one of the content providers which will actually make probably the virtual reality experiences you really want to play in virtual reality. The problem I see, if you don't provide content that is just exclusively experienced in virtual reality, the masses won't buy it. If you can still play it on the screen, why should you buy such an expensive system? So I really feel like Steam could do the real big thing. We all think about games like, what is it called? Half-Life 3, maybe it should be in VR. I think that would be very compelling to the gaming community. So at least we can hope for better content than Oculus just does. But let's see, is it more precise? Yes, it is. Is it more expensive? We don't know. I really guess so. Why shouldn't it be? It's, yeah, there's a lot more technological stuff inside, so I guess so it will be more expensive, but still a lot of gamers, they don't even think about getting an Oculus, they're just waiting for a release date of the HTC PRE. So I wanna sum up my talk with some questions I always hear when I talk about virtual reality in our virtual reality launch. So what is the resolution? You can imagine that a guy who asks you about the resolution has already some kind of idea of how virtual reality works, or at least he knows what a resolution on a TV screen or a monitor means. So this is a very common question. It's not the only thing which makes perspective a lot better. Of course, the optics in that case play a big role. It's about the quality of your display, of course. So gaps between pixels just make it appear less sharpened than it actually is. It's blurrier than it should be already. So, but just to get clear, so Samsung, Oculus, Sony, and HTC basically use the same displays or the same resolution. It's 2400 by 1080. So it's 2200 by 1080 for each eye. It's not that less if you think on a monitor. If you think about a monitor that is filling up your whole perspective, it's not that much anymore. So still where we want it, so at least now we have like 1K per eye, and where we want to get is 16K per eye. I think we still have some time developing this technology. So yeah, what is the best experience in VR? This is a question I get a lot. It really depends on who you ask, because it's a bit like movie. I don't want to compare virtual reality headsets to the cinema or anything, but still, not everybody's going to the cinema because of the same movie. It always depends on, and there's a lot of guys out there who are not really into gaming, but still are somehow interested in virtual reality, or maybe they don't know yet. But if you're not interested in games, maybe you're interested in soccer, let's say, and if you tell them, yeah, maybe in the near future you can watch your soccer game in your boxer shorts, not even leaving your house, but sitting in front row of a stadium, maybe that's the thing compelling to these guys. At least, of course, now we have the headsets. All we have to do is bring the right content. Only content will bring the masses to virtual reality. That's, of course, but my talk is about the devices, so let's get on. Do I have to buy a new one every year? I already talked about it. I don't think so. The headsets you get now pretty soon are really at the peak of what is possible with displays at the moment. This is why the Oculus is a bit heavier in pricing than a lot of people thought, because Samsung just invented these displays. These displays coming out, they are just coming out. It's just like, you know, they build it in every new Samsung phone. Of course, they're not too cheap to buy from Samsung if they need it themselves. So, yeah, and it's a good thing though. Like we said before, if you own a virtual reality headset now, you don't want to buy a new one next year and the year after. You are happy if your graphics card can match up with it in the next 3 or 4 years. So I don't think so. And with this, I think I'm really close to my end. Still, I'm very enthusiastic because all we dreamed about in the 80s, it looks like we are getting there, because, you know, JVC is not anymore in the play, but let's see. Thank you all.